truly acknowledging every one of you, especially those who took the risk and followed through and posted a picture of yourself as a child, right? Took that journey with yourself into the 7-layer sacred why. For those of you who took the risk and pushed your skills a little bit and created an edited video. And I just want to truly acknowledge how potent your messaging has all become in this last month by just going through this alchemical process of really connecting with that inner light. What is that piece within that has always been there? Congratulations to all the progress that you have made. It's been amazing. And I would love to hear from any one of you here about some piece of growth that you have felt over the last few weeks.
What I've really seen is like to trust the unfolding. Whether it was the unfolding of more of my story, or it was the unfolding of the sacred why. Even Jill, I loved seeing your why that you posted, because it just shows, oh, I know how to talk to my little girl. I can do that. And I did more of that this morning. And I just like, oh, it's unfolding. And then doing editing, doing this video thing, like I didn't know what the heck I was doing at all. And I'm like, okay, God, how do you put this stupid video up there? And how do you do these clip things? And then how do you edit this thing? And I actually, for you, Renee and Jill, that are always saying, Google it, YouTube it, and ask. It's just not I'm 62. I didn't do that. I didn't grow up with that, but I did it. I did it. And I found out how to do it.
So I don't even know how to put words on this, but it kind of all goes back to that vibrational piece of everything you put out there. And I know when I'm looking at something that's being put out there for me and it's not right. Yes. To my core. And what I'm learning by being around you is how to identify and how to tap in and say, okay, I'm just looking, like, for example, my landing page for my retreat, and I'm just scrolling, and I like the pieces that weren't me just pop right out at me. And then as soon as I made those tiny little tweaks, now it's right. Now it's the right vibration. Like the biggest example is there was this one background shot that was just, it was a stock photo of a beach. And I'm like, this is not me. This doesn't fit my whole vibe. This is so wrong. What needs to be here? And I immediately knew that it was my picture from you of those sacred mountains. Nothing with me in it, but just that picture of those sacred mountains we were on in Maui. And as soon as I made that switch to that image, I'm like, okay, yeah, now it's putting out the right vibration to all the people that are going to see it. So just even diving more into that and that ability to not be a perfectionist, but to know the little things that need to happen to make it me. I think that's what we all strive for.
I love that. I love that. This is a constant refinement, right? A constant refinement of like, how is this more uniquely me? In this module of the brand persona, that was the big question, right? Like, what is so uniquely you that you can kind of up it a notch and really put that forward? Because your uniqueness is a cornerstone to your success. I feel like it has actually quite a deep spiritual essence to it as well, because it's not about following kind of the templates that have come before, or this is what a yoga teacher looks like, or this is what a business coach looks like, but rather what is unique about me and the way that I approach this and the way that I kind of actually synthesize something new in my industry, something new in my field, right? I asked the question on one of our other calls in this module is like, what are you asking about in your industry that's disrupting things a little bit, right? That's sort of a new concept. So what is unique about you, unique about the way you see the world? Again, what is that inner light that in the gift of this outward darkness, we can start to see a lot clearer. Questions are the 3 L's of the new year. And so the first question is, what are you letting go of? Okay. As you refine, and let go of baggage, what are you letting go of? And some things to maybe think about in there is negative self-talk, comparison, grudges. What is something that you can feel you can let go of as you move towards your goals, that you can get lighter? Then what are you leveraging, right? And here, I want you to go into your uniqueness, right? Your sacred why. How are you leveraging what is unique about you? And then what are you loving, right? What is really inspiring your heart? Is it, tell us about your goals, your community, yourself, the growth that you've acknowledged in yourself over this last year. So, what are you letting go of? What are you leveraging? And what are you loving?
You know, it was really good to say things that I'm letting go and to affirm it. And also not just affirm it, but like I would speak to how I recognize and how I know I'm already doing it. Like it's one thing to say I'm letting it go, and now there's the action of and I'm doing it by. So like holding grudges, and I wake up, here's how I know I'm letting go of grudges. Here's how I know I'm letting go of the conflict that I have, like with one person in particular. I wake up every morning now and I start doing ho'oponopono. It's the first thing I say. I wake up and I'm like, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And I just go into a repetitive mantra for like 5 minutes. And it's funny because I thought it would be just this one person, but then I get flashes of people, you know, like, oh yeah, and then little parts of me, like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And so I'm starting my morning like that. And then when I go to bed, same thing. Right before I fall asleep, wrap it in peace and forgiveness and reconciliation, because that's what I want to see. The leveraging, it felt good to see what I'm leveraging. I said one of the things I love is programs like this. Hold us accountable, stay in the container. And I love it at the same time. It was like a leveraging and love, which is like best of both worlds. So yeah, it's always good I'm loving staying connected. I love, love, love staying connected to transformation and growth and evolution, and yeah, to feel it.
All the things. One, just to be able to speak it out and like knowing my sacred why and all of these things, and to really ground them in. So letting go of the things that no longer work for me. So in this humbling process, like picking out things like, oh, that doesn't work, we'll just let that go. And like leveraging my sacred why, which is thriving. Like my sacred why is my thriving, so that I'm thriving and I'm coming from overflow, which then allows other people to see and say, oh, I can thrive too. And oh, I can overflow too. So I'm leveraging the overflow and just loving myself. So it feels great to be like, you know, this is my process and I love where I'm at, and I'm going to let go of the comparison and be like, I should be blah, blah, blah. Nope, I'm right where I need to be. Have grace, take steps. My process is my process, and everything's already all right.
I want us to take this opportunity to be in the gain of what we've gained in the last 2 months of being together. We've been on this journey together, and to really acknowledge like the gain, what has been gained, and what am I like knowing even more where I'm going now.
Yeah, what I was letting go of any lack of trust and stepping into this divine partnership. You know, knowing that it will unfold, and letting go of any angst or doubt and stepping into that relaxing fun. And I'm leveraging in my business, I'm leveraging that. My God, I've worked with thousands of people who are dying, that I have both sides of this coin of grief and end of life. And I have a wealth of wisdom to bring forward. And that is very unique. It is quite unique. And that not only that, but as my book in the next few months publishes, which is called Moxie, I'm really stepping into my own Moxie, which has been part of what's been happening. And revolutionizing. Like, I've never really saw myself as a revolutionary person, but that's really owning that I have this inner power. I was loving that about myself, and that inner power, particularly in this group, I've opened to let that integrate. Like, I've known it and I've channeled it, but I think I'm embodying it now. Stepping into that elder place.
I'm letting go of the story that I had going on in my head, that I hadn't done enough. I hadn't launched something. There were all these stories. And in reality, as I'm seeing the energy and feeling the energy coming in, it's like there's a reason why, because now the energy's up underneath me in an easeful way, and it feels completely different to me. And so this morning I was on a call with a small group I'm in, and I was talking about this notion of creating space for people to land, to exhale, to really allow their nervous systems to be and to embody, come back within themselves, so that they can come from that space to create from all the possibility. And as I was talking about this embodiment piece of it, this man on the call, he goes, that's just revolutionary. And I stopped and I looked at him and I said, I so appreciate that reflection, because I said, it's something I do all the time. I spend all my, it's like, this is my focus. This is the whole, this is what I'm about. And to hear that view of it as, and the word, that's why the word it's like, it just struck me as there's such a need to create those spaces for others. And there will be people that, want that, and there will be people that resist it. But it was this whole other view, because I've been working on this forever, it feels like this work I do and all the things I do. So it was really important when I heard Candy say revolutionary, because that was just a moment for me.
The sacred why, how helpful the exercise on coming up with distilling those words that are our brand essence. And so whenever I start to get lost again, like, I don't know who, what, it really helps me. It brings me back to something that feels very true. That I've always felt like there's two sides of me, the teacher and then the artist. And it's like there's always this battle, because I get called so much to teach, but really what I want to do is perform. But how I make my money is by teaching. And so there's like always this tension, right? And then it started dawning on me, as I had my concert, which was very lovely. It was here in my home, and it was what I did. At one point, I invited people to come up to the mic and to share something like very touching. I set up a context. Anyway, I won't go into the whole thing. A quote by some famous actor, I don't know who, I know the quote in Spanish, but in English it's something like, somebody who's freed up on stage can liberate thousands others through their performance, right? Something like that. So what I was realizing was, when I bring more my playful artist self to my teaching, that gives my teaching something unique. And it's it just, nobody teaches what I teach the way I teach it when I can bring that in. And then I get all creative and funny, and it's joyful, and we have a good time. And then when I bring the teacher into the performance, right, then it takes on also another dimension, because I was suddenly, it's might be so basic, but it hadn't really dawned on me that being an artist is not all about, oh, for my ego. It's really my offering. And it really is my path as a healer, also to heal on stage. Then I just feel so much more like there's not this battle between all aspects of who I am. And
So much of this work is like making peace with all these parts and uniting them, right? Because there's a subtle thing that can happen that sort of undermines our success, and it can be like these actual like ego issues between different parts of ourselves, where it's like, well, but I'm a teacher, no, but I'm an artist, wait, no, but I'm a business person, no, but I'm, and like getting kind of rigid in feeling like, well, but this is how that is supposed to be. And to just soften the boundaries between them, right? To really soften the boundaries between them, and to become much more multidimensional, interdisciplinary, right? And forge new paths. There is more to human creativity, right? There is more to how we can synthesize information, more than how we can synthesize presentation. I want to speak to this because everyone in here is at a very different place in their lives, right? In your career, in your personal lives, like we're all in very different stages of the game. And that doesn't mean that we're ever in the wrong place, right? Because what it is, it's about being in a place where people are committed to their evolution, that they're committed to being a loving witness to themselves and one another. And that's what holds us in the right place at the right time. So to really honor the uniqueness of everyone here and where you're at and how you're devoted you are to your evolution is really what matters at the end of the day. And I'm so proud of the devotion that I've seen through these beautiful expressions that you have been creating.
A lot of these questions that we had today, when you hand me 3 questions, talk about them right now. I'm like, could you have given these a week ago? Because I need to think about the answer. I can't, it's a different process then, of course. But I've been thinking about a lot of this stuff for a long time because my son went to university in the fall, and this was the empty nest time for me. So literally for years, I've been thinking about September, which is now behind me. But for a long time, it was in front of me and coming. And so I kind of feel like I've done a lot of this. Not that we're ever completely done. So it's like I'm getting this sort of dessert on top of it, that, oh, now we're having a new year and I get to make some goals and plans, and I've been like living in it for so long that it feels sort of surprising. I've seen all sorts of things start to shift. That when I talked with you, I said all I want to do is get my website built this year, and really it's being built. Somebody else is building it, and so it's already happening, kind of. And now I have like this new PDF that's going to be a thing that I didn't know I was going to be doing 3 weeks ago. I had no clue whatsoever. So things are happening, and that's really fun.
Such a beautiful journey seeing that persona evolve and your expressions become more and more refined, alluring, captivating, funny, sincere, to really feel your voices developing in this process. Thank you so much for being here and committed to a creative destiny. Just to be an entrepreneur is such an act of radical sovereignty. And so really just acknowledging all of us in this journey and the incredible courage that it takes to just be here.